Hello everyone and welcome down to episode 195 of the Down South Photo Show with me, Brendan Waits, here in Ocean Grove, Victoria, Australia, and the guy on your other screen or in your other ear if you're listening to the podcast. It's Cameron Blake in Hobart, Tasmania, Australia. Good evening. Hello, Cameron.
Did you always call me Cameron Brake? Hello, I am Cameron Brake. No, I'm Cameron Blake.
I've been I'm out of practice, man. We've been a bit gappy this year, haven't we? We've had a few gaps.
Yeah. We've got more gaps than a Collingwood supporter's front teeth, I think. It's all happening. We've been a bit gappy, but we're busy. We're not we can't be doing 3 or 4 podcasts a week for 5 hours each time. We've got to just put it together as best we can. And I think our fan base appreciates the fact that we just get out there when we can.
Yes.
Like you said, we should never do this if it wasn't becoming fun or becoming too much or too busy. So we've monitored our own busyness, and I think it's working. But it'd be nice to do some more regular ones, but we'll see how we go.
We keep threatening that we'll do more regular ones, and then we've sort of almost gone back to one a month. But that's fine. It's all about quality, not quantity, isn't it?
It should be. Yes, absolutely.
That's right.
Not always is, though. Yes. What is this quality you talk of?
That's right. Just for those who would like to know what we're going to talk about tonight, I've been into the Simpson Desert, so we're going to show some photos from that. The guy on your other screen has been to the Victorian High Country, so he's going to show us some photos from that. We're going to talk about our BFOP pre-BFOP meetup in Bright, for those of you going to the Bright Festival of Photography this year. And Cam's got a little bit of a rumor about a new camera coming out as well. So stay tuned for all of that. How you been, Cam? You've been keeping busy, clearly.
Yeah, busy. I'm just actually adding in a couple more photos, because our bandwidth is already playing up. I thought I'd just stuff it up even more by putting some more photos in there. Been pretty busy the last few weeks. Had a Cradle Mountain winter workshop that had no snow. But we had some beautiful forest conditions. We had foggy, misty, bit drizzly sort of weather, which is perfect for the forest of Tassie. And then I got on the Spirit of Spew and took my car, which I was just speaking with you about, up to the high country just to scout out the high country. I've given up on Cradle Mountain winter workshops for the next couple of years. I just think it's just too hard to predict. So I'm going to try my luck in the Victorian high country, so we can have a bit of a chat about that. But I haven't been as far as you. You've been everywhere, man.
Well, the funny thing is, last time we were on air, we were about to embark on the Great Ocean Road workshop. So that's how long it's been. That was like a month ago. So that was with your good self. That was a fantastic photo tour, I thought. We got some great conditions. Thinking back, the session that we had at sunrise on the beach when that rainbow appeared. Down by that rocks with all the reflections, and there was algae and lichen and tessellated pavement and all that sort of stuff. That was very very cool.
Sand blown into your camera bag, and it's great.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I got back from that and said happy birthday to my daughter for a day, and then jumped in a car and did it's almost a mini lap of Australia when you look at it. Went through Victoria, South Australia, the Northern Territory, Queensland, and New South Wales. So 5 states in 13 days. So it was a bit of a whirlwind, but we'll talk more about that as we go through. And then here we are back at it. So, and before you know it, it's going to be spring and summer's going to be here. So
when this comes out, it almost will be spring, won't it?
So this will be coming out on Friday. So it'll be around the 28th or 29th, whatever that is. It's amazing. We say it every year, don't we? But here we are again, and it's flying by.
Yeah. Hey, just so people watching at home, if we do freeze a little bit on our screen, there's a little bit of weather happening around my neck of the woods, which apparently is stuffing around our Wi-Fi a little bit. So if I freeze, hopefully unfortunately my voice will keep going, but don't stress, don't adjust your TV sets. It's just us living in Tasmania in 1971, where the Wi-Fi is still quite infant.
That's right. One thing I forgot to mention as well, if you listen through or watch through to the end of this episode, we're going to be announcing the winner of our Paint Your Town Winter competition as well. So there's a little teaser for you to stick with us right through to the end, or you can do what most people do and just forward through and go, oh, there it is, and then come back if you like. So if you've already seen it, well done. Congratulations.
maybe we should flash it a couple of times before we announce the win, just so it screws people up. When you go scrolling down the bottom, you're like, oh, there it is. Maybe we can make it stuff up like that. But
exactly.
So yeah, do you know how many Ks you covered? Did you keep a clock on how many Ks?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
I can tell you exactly 4,950 because we made a joke about being 50K short of 5,000, and
right.
We felt like we talked about that. It's like, all right, we better grab another beer and go do a little lap. But by the time we got back to Victoria, we were pretty much over the site of the inside of a Land Cruiser. I'll be honest with you. So we're ready to get out of those things. But it was just shy of 5,000 Ks of some of the most magnificent landscape I've ever been to. Not least of which was the Flinders Ranges, which I finally got to get a look at, which I'd never been to in my life, which some people might find that a bit surprising, but no, I'd never been there before. It was very, very cool. But what we're going to do first, Cam, I want to show up a photo of the week. I'm going to start with yours. Would you like me to put that first one up that you...
Yeah, let's do that one first. Yes, please.
There you go.
Yeah. So this is the other day scouting up the top of Mount Hotham, shooting towards Mount Feathertop. Wonderful, beautiful Mount Feathertop. I've actually stood on the top of that mountain once. I hiked out on the Razorback and walked to the summit of Feathertop. That was pretty cool. That was done in late November, and we woke up in a snow blizzard. It was really good fun. And we didn't have tents. We just took a tarp. Thought, it's 30 degrees down in the valley there. What could possibly go wrong? But we went up there. Cheryl and I, we finished our Cradle Mountain workshop, and Cheryl is obviously keen to go scouting with us. So we spent a few days up there scouting around Bright. And we've just released a couple of winter workshops for next year in the Victorian High Country. There is like one spot left on the second one. The first one sold out within stupid minutes, like 15 minutes or something. There's one spot left for those who want to go check out my website. But we also were blessed with the company just up the road from where we took this shot from Jeff Freestone. He had a small group of photographers up there running a winter workshop as well. And we stuck up by them, and we popped in and said g'day on the way through. They were taking some shots of some lovely snow gums. So, it was good. Not as much snow. It's obviously been a pretty poor season across the whole country, but there was enough on there just to get some nice photos, and this beautiful sunrise just worked for us. A little bit of purple in the sky early on, and away we went.
Awesome. Yeah, it's a great spot. When we do the big bus trip at BFOP, we stop pretty much right there and get those photos as well. We don't have any snow by the time that rolls. Well, we did have last year actually a little bit. When I say we don't have any, we have a little bit on Feathertop there, but not very much. And looking at that, we'll probably have a little bit hanging around, but nothing like you got down on the hills there, on the foothills there a little bit more. So it's a great spot.
Yeah, I love it. Like I said, I've been going to the high country all my life. So I've been doing the Bright Autumn workshop for many years, but I've always wanted to do a high country one. So Cradle Mountain this year with no snow sort of sealed its own fate there. And I'm like, well, you know what, let's swap it around and let's head up to the high country and see what sort of images we can create up there over a few days. So what we decided to do, we're going to base ourselves in Bright and then do Hotham and Feathertop for one day, Buffalo for another day, Falls Creek for another day, and then maybe back up to Hotham again. So we'll spread it out, do a bit of landscape photography, a bit of snow photography, maybe a bit of abstract stuff, some snow gums, some old huts and things like that. So should be good. I can't wait to get up there, and it's always a nice spot to be.
Yeah, no, it'll be epic. The thing I like about the drive up Hotham in particular is when you reach the snow line and you see the terrain change, and then it almost feels like it's a little bit of an alien sort of landscape, because all of a sudden you're in the open, there's no trees, you get that, there's that, can't remember what the section's called, but you sort of go down, the road gets quite steep and the trees get a lot smaller and you get those little snow gums and that sort of stuff. And it's kind of cool to know that we've got that landscape here in Australia. And a lot of our international viewers probably don't realize that we do get a fair amount of snow here in Australia through the winter. And we have ski fields and that sort of stuff. So I can't remember off the top of my head. Hotham's it's around 2,000 meters, isn't it? Or it's 1,800 or something.
Just below, 1,890, I think. Feathertop's slightly taller, and then you got Mount Bogon. Mount Bogon's 1,984 meters. I know that because it's just a year. That's the tallest mountain in Victoria. Then obviously you've got Kosciuszko over 2,000 just around the corner. So it is. A lot of people don't realise that we do have ski fields here and have quite a big winter sports type of audience as well. So, but the one thing is we just don't get that all year round snow like you sort of do in some of the other countries around the world, and you don't get that guaranteed snow all the time. Like most winters, you'll get some pretty good covering up the top of here, but this year's been a bit patchy. There was a few runs open, but not long after we left here, I think they had rain like 2 days after we left, and a lot of the runs got melted by the rain. And I think Mount Donabew closed for the season a month earlier, and so it hasn't been a great season. But fingers crossed next year when we get up there, we'll have this or if not more snow for our guests coming along.
Yeah, you'd be unlucky to have 2 dud seasons in a row. Question without notice. Can you let our viewers in on what camera and lens you used for that photo?
So this was shot on the Leica SL3 with a 70 to 200 mil lens, and I think it was around about 80, 90 mil. I did some closer up shots at 200 mil on the mountain as the light hit. So I did a whole succession of shots zooming in at different focal lengths, but I think this one's about 80 or 90. I think I shot this around about 5.6, probably ISO 400. Can't tell you what the shutter speed was an aperture priority with a tripod. And when I was doing this, I looked over to see what Cheryl was photographing, and she was helping herself to not a snowman, but a mound that could have been a snowman, to put her tripod on top because her camera on top, because she forgot her tripod back down in Bright. So she had her camera balanced on top of a snow pile, taking similar shots. So, never one to, let a good opportunity go. She left her tripod down below, but still found a way to get a photo, which is what all good photographers can do.
Absolutely. Well done, Cheryl. We've all been there. I remember using a pile of rocks down at Point Lonsdale many moons ago to, it's that sinking feeling when you reach to the side of your camera bag and go, oh shit.
Oh shit. Or you take a photo and it goes, no memory card. You're like, oh shit. If I only listened to Brendan having one of those spare ones in my bag.
Yep.
I had a funny one the other day. Here's a bit of bullshit without notice. I had a memory card that would read in my camera, but wouldn't read in my laptop camera card reader.
That was in Apollo Bay.
Yeah. It happened again in Bright. So I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, that's odd. Yeah. Why is that?
Why have you not fixed it for me?
I know. And with the global memory card shortage that's going on at the moment, every memory card is precious. So we can't have any failing on us.
What? How can there be a global memory card shortage?
Well, it is starting to correct itself, but apparently data farms are to blame. They're swallowing up all the solid state memory around, and of course they're hungry for memory, and so these companies like SanDisk, etc., say, sure, here, if you're going to order, a million chips, a million 64 gig chips, then I think we'll sell them to you. That's totally fine.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So that's what's been going on. My photo of the week, I've been struggling to pick a photo of the week because we've had a month and I've been where I've been, but I like this one.
Yes.
This was at a place called Kingston on Murray, which was our first night on the Simpson, which we'll get to in a sec, on the Simpson trip. So we drove all day from Ocean Grove up to cross the border at Renmark into South Australia. Yeah, it is magic. And just we almost threw a dart at the map, and we landed on this place called Kingston on Murray, which had caravan park with a campground at the back of it, and the campground is on the banks of the Murray. So you're looking at the Murray River there.
Perfect.
And we had just wall-to-wall blue skies, and as the sun went down, we wandered down there. We had a couple of beers. I had my camera with me, my Nikon with the 180 to 600, and just played with the light on all these pelicans that were there. And this was just, it was so nice because the sun was really low and you were creating lots of shadows in the background. So the separation that we got of great light on the birds, and it was cool because it was my first chance to dust off the camera gear on the trip. And it was a great way to do it, to set up a swag and then wander down there and have a couple of beers, take some photos and talk with my mates. So
even the pelicans are watching the sunset.
Yeah, pretty much. There was thousands of them there. Like it was like fish in a barrel. There was just pelicans everywhere. A lot of them were sort of tucked up further away though. And so this is actually at 600 mil, but you could see them in the distance, just white dots all the way along the horizon. along with whistling kites, black kites, galahs, cockatoos. We had this cockatoo actually come down, which is, I'm going to cheat and have 2 photos of the week. And this guy just came down and put on a show for me. It was just it was unreal. That sort of tree that he's on, sort of like a dead tree, and he was hopping up and down, going back down for a drink. And I was like, thanks for the reflection, mate. Awesome. Yeah. The only thing I wanted to do was have his crest out while he was doing this, but apparently they never do that. They only do that when they use it for balance, or they use it a lot for direction. When they're scared or surprised, they'll put their crest up, but not when they're drinking, apparently. So it's quite unusual to have a shot with its crest out while it's drinking, but.
Surely that's an Aussie saying somewhere about drinking without your crest up.
Yeah, don't get your crest up or whatever.
Don't get your crest up while having a drink. Hey, I reckon I know where you stayed, because when I went to scout the Flinders Ranges many years ago, I stayed in Renmark, but I went driving further on, and I either went to Martin's Bend, or up further to where you were, because I remember there was a truckload of pelicans when I went through there as well along the Murray. There was heaps, and the cockatoos, or the salted crested cockatoos, whatever they're called. So I reckon I might have gone to the Kingston on Murray region as well.
If you're looking, and this is not a plug, we paid to stay there. The Kingston on Murray Caravan Park, it was phenomenal. And look, run by a couple of lovely people, Jan and Doug. Their names just stuck in my mind because they were so lovely. They introduced themselves. Classic Aussie country people who were just so proud of their caravan park and were rapt that we were there and asked where we were from and all that sort of stuff. And it had a big, one of those areas that had a big communal fire that everyone got around. We stood around the fire. It was freezing, by the way. It was minus 2.5 the next morning. Thank you very much.
In a swag, nice.
In a swag, it was a nice little welcome to the swag. Luckily I was quite warm, but it was a nice little wake up. But yeah, Kingston on Murray Caravan Park. If you're ever in the area, go and check it out.
Yeah, very nice, good stuff. Yeah, it's a lovely part of the world up there, and so you did your first big trip out to Renmark, and then the next day, where did you end up the next day?
Yeah, so we went to Renmark, and then we got ourselves up into the Flinders Ranges. So it took us, we didn't really want to just do 10, 11-hour days in the car. So that day was a little bit cruisier. We stopped in Waikerie, and I went to the bakery that it was closed because it was on a Sunday when we got there. But a friend of ours who was traveling with us had some friends in Waikerie, so we dropped him on them and had a cuppa. Yeah. It was great. And then, slowly made our way up through Burra, up to Hawker, which is you're familiar with. Grabbed some fuel at Hawker, and then headed out to Rawnsley Park Station, where I know you host your workshops. Yes, great. It was great because you've spoken of that place so many times, and it was great to finally stand there and go, right, I get it now. I can see the lay of the land. I can see what Cam's doing with the workshops. The Flinders Ranges, I don't want to say it took me by surprise, but it kind of did. At just how stunning it really is. They'd had so much rain there that it wasn't funny, and it was wall to wall green. It was just carpet of green.
It's like everywhere. A golf course, isn't it? It's ridiculous.
It's incredible. Yeah. So we went to the Rawnsley Park Station, the Woolshed for dinner, which was absolutely magnificent. And then we sort of we camped and again swagged it up and had a great time. So this trip was more of a holiday for me. It was going out with 3 other mates, as I say, in a couple of Land Cruisers, and the main goal was to cross the Simpson Desert. We'd planned this 6 months in advance, maybe even longer, to do the Simpson. And of course, because it had so much rain in Queensland, the Simpson was flooded and the Simpson Desert was closed. So, and it had been closed for months. And so we'd already arranged the time off. Like my mates had taken time off work. A friend of ours had come from Launceston, so he'd booked flights and all that. So we thought, let's go anyway. And what we decided to do was actually spend the week in the Flinders Ranges. Which was all going to be great. We'd organised accommodation and everything, and then the desert opened. The Simpson Desert actually reopened a week before we left. So we were high-fiving and yahooing, and I was like, yes, we're going to actually get to do this. So the original plan kicked back in. So we just had the one night in the Flinders. We went up through that beautiful gorge country, Parachilna Gorge, I believe it's called.
Parachilna, yeah,
which was absolutely phenomenal. That was a travel day, so it was really just a taster. I got video and a couple of photos when we stopped here and there. But yeah, of course, desperate to get back there at some point and spend a week there and actually photograph. Those gorges are just nuts.
Yep, the big river gums and the big cliff faces and all that kind of stuff is very cool.
I don't know why I didn't know that they were there.
Well, that's the same with me. Like I didn't know until I sort of saw someone else had been. I'm like, that looks nice, and I'd heard of them, but I never really investigated them or anything like that. So they are, for anyone who has you don't need a major 4-wheel drive. It's all bitumen the whole way, pretty much, from any capital city, really. The Flinders Ranges are worth, like I said, at least 4 or 5 days to get there and stay around, which is great. Now, you had a baker on your trip, didn't you?
Yeah, we did. We had Marcus with us. G'day to Marcus. I know he'll be watching this. Marcus very, very kindly was my chauffeur. He picked me up. He drove from Noosa to Ocean Grove over a couple of days and to join this trip. And
did you share the drive?
So we, out of the total of nearly 5,000 kilometers, I drove 3 kilometers.
3? Was that to go down to the pub and back or something?
I had to basically beg him to let me drive across part of the Simpson Desert across a couple of journeys.
Yeah. Now, something else I wanted to mention as well, for those who might not be from the Isle of Australia watching, international viewers like in England or in the United States, when we say the desert was closed, it doesn't have a boom gate saying, sorry, you can't go through or anything like that. This is a massive, massive, massive desert in the middle of Australia. Don't ask me how many square kilometers it is, but it is one of those things that if it floods, you won't get through. You'll be stuck there, and you can be stuck there for weeks if it comes in. So you've got to really be careful. It's all dirt road, all and sand dunes and all that all the way through, but I'll let you tell you more about that. But yeah, just wanted to clarify that it's not a boom gate saying, oh, you better not go in because it's closed. It's Mother Nature that will give you the heads up real quickly that you don't go in there at all. So so after Rawnsley Park, where was your next stop?
Yeah, so our next stop after Rawnsley, we headed for William Creek, I guess. It was William Creek. So we came out through Parachilna at that Prairie coffee shop / pub, the very yuppie one.
Yes.
And might I say, the coffee was amazing. It was as good as any coffee I can get here in Ocean Grove. So that was cool.
Yes.
And via Lee Creek, and we had the world's worst pie in a little town on the way up as well at Copley. That was awful. And then made our way up through to William Creek, and William Creek was absolutely fantastic. So William Creek's kind of famous for their pub. It's one of those pubs that you walk into and there's hats all along. There's stubby holders and all this sort of stuff. There's different sort of rooms and stuff that you can go into, but it's just a classic outback pub that you'd expect to see Crocodile Dundee standing at one end of it, sort of thing, And
or if you're unlucky like me, the first time I went there, you had Tom Putt walking out in a Cobra, gave me a big cuddle in the main street and said, "Hey," and everyone's like, "What?" Like he was up there with a group, but he dressed. I think he thought he was Crocodile Dundee, but he looked more like something out of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. But it's a cool spot. The pub is very cool, and So, and you didn't do a flight over the lake though, did you?
No. So we had So on the way to William Creek, we actually saw Lake Eyre, which was kind of cool, but kind of almost. It just when you're from the roadside, it just looks like another lake.
Yeah.
Yes, it's got water in it, which is kind of rare, but getting less rare, if you know what I mean. Like they've had that much rain over the last few years that they're actually predicting water to be in Lake Eyre now for the next 10 years. Which is remarkable. And they're getting more as we speak. Like it's been raining this week. So we couldn't get, and to be honest, it was just me out of the group that wanted to do the scenic flight just for photos. I couldn't get onto one in William Creek, but I booked one for Birdville at the other end of the trip, which I'll come back to in a sec. But anyway, William Creek was great because you go to the pub, you have beers at the pub, you eat at the pub, you get up and you have breakfast at the pub. So even though we were camped in the campground across the road, we just wandered over there for breakfast. Anyway, while we're wandering across for breakfast, this bad boy was parked out the front. And I mean, I was I'd never seen a road train like that before. I'd seen this exact company, the Tanami transport company, that road train in hundreds of pictures before. And when we walked around the corner, like our 4-wheel drives are literally parked behind this thing. And that's the pub on the left where you get fuel, and the pub's just tucked in there. And I just said, righto, boys, go and order my breakfast and coffee. I'll be in a minute. And I just went nuts on this road train and shot heaps of different angles of it. And I was like a little kid. When I was a kid, I used to go into the library at school and get Truck and Life magazine and look at. I
could see you being a truckie.
Yeah, I love it. I just loved it. I wanted to talk to the driver. He was there. He's actually in the cab there, and he sort of gave me a little thumbs up and gave me a wave. And I really wanted to go over and chat with him, but he looked a bit busy. Yeah. So, but look at that thing. I mean, could you imagine A, driving that thing, and B, having that thing barreling down towards you on a dirt road? We've passed a few of them on our travels, and you get out their way. That's for sure. You don't brake check them. That's for sure. No, we it was wonderful. I felt so lucky that he was parked there, and literally after I got these shots, as I'm walking back, like actually I think we heard him leave as we're having breakfast, and so I felt quite lucky to get that. And then it was William Creek. We went up via the Oodnadatta track. We went to Oodnadatta, which is the famous Oodnadatta Pink Roadhouse. That's not the Pink Roadhouse. The Pink Roadhouse off to the side, but that sign. I mean, come on, does it get any more iconic than that in Outback Australia?
That's got Nick Carver vibes all over it.
Actually, I do. I was thinking about him a couple of times when we saw a couple of buildings out that way. So we basically, William Creek, we drove up by the Oodnadatta track to Oodnadatta. We went, we got fuel there, and then kept going up to a place called Mount Dare. Mount Dare is basically almost on the border of the Northern Territory. Yes. And if you're doing the Simpson Desert, it's the last fuel stop before Birdsville.
Is it actually a mountain?
That's a great question. It didn't look like it was pretty flat around there, Mount Dare, but it was
as you're talking here, I've got my Google Maps going on the side, just following you where you're going. It's very cool. So
we went up to Mount Dare. We're only at Mount Dare for about half an hour, where we got fuel, more supplies, a couple more beers, and then made our way to Dalhousie Springs. Dalhousie Springs is about 90 minutes, 2 hours from Mount Dare, and technically marks the start of the Simpson Desert crossing if you're crossing from west to east, which we were. Dalhousie Springs has natural hot springs, which was pretty cool as well, that we got to have a swim in. I'm not going to show every photo I took because we'll be here all night. I've just basically picked out a few of the highlights. But
did you? What was the daily temperature like there when you're up that bit?
Oh, we were so lucky, Cam. I mean, we got mid to high 20s, maybe. Like it was mid 20s most of the time. That's so perfect. Very, very comfortable. Bugger all flies, which kind of surprised us given how green the desert was. We were prepared. We had our fly nets and everything like that. Didn't need them once. Perfect. Which was kind of cool. But we so as I say, Dalhousie, we spent the night there, and then basically fairly early on the next day, we went for a swim in the Dalhousie Springs, and then set off. We set off to cross the Simpson. We had 4 days to get to Birdsville. 3 nights out in the desert, and it's 600 kilometers. So if you do the math, we'd basically driven 600 to 700 kilometers per day to get to the start, and then we had 4 days to do 600 Ks. So across the Simpson, you're averaging roughly 19, 20 Ks an hour to go across. So the majority of it is sand, obviously being the desert. This is just a close up I got at one of the tracks. This is what you get. This is sand going. This is the tracks going over the dunes. Just that beautiful red earth that you get, and red sand. Very, very soft sand in some parts, but for a majority of the track, sort of looked like this. Now that was day one, and we were getting close. It was unbelievable. We were getting close to where we wanted to camp. And we knew dingoes were out there because we'd seen the prints along the track. And then literally this dog just walked straight out in front of us. I was like, what the hell? I mean, that's shot through the car windscreen. That's literally, we had to sort of shoot first, ask questions later. But as it walked up further and we sort of got up behind it, it just walked off the side of the track, and I got shot straight out of the side of the car.
Yeah, awesome.
So that was pretty cool.
Look,
to be able to
look
see
how green! Look how green it is. There's so many green plants in
there. Yeah. So it's not. So we saw it. It's funny. It's sort of bittersweet. Like we saw it very, very green, which is rare, but the photographer in me wanted to see the desert. So it was. I was torn like that. Look, there was places where we saw a fair bit of the dunes, but most of them were covered in grasses and trees and greenery. A lot of it looked, see in the middle of the track there, I'm not sure what that is, but it felt like a weed. Like it was weird. That was like carpeting a lot of the dunes. So when you get the sand ripples and stuff on the dunes, the wind ripples, we didn't get much of that.
Yeah, okay, that's a bit of a shame then. Yeah,
a little bit, but you sort of, again, like you don't often see it looking like that. So we sort of took it with a grain of salt, I guess. On the way up as well, there was these guys were unreal. There was some galahs hanging around. There's an art installation. It looks like 2 aeroplanes that they've shoved in the ground on the way up there on the data track. And these guys were hilarious. They were just putting on a show. They were carrying on and squawking and having a ball. So the bird life up there was very, very cool. To be able to get sort of up close and personal with them was awesome as well. But my favorite shot of the trip is this one, because the stars were absolutely berserk. We couldn't believe it. The timing was great. When we started the trip, the moon was rising at about 9 o'clock at night. So of course each day that got roughly an hour later, to the point where, by the time we were out in the middle of the desert, it was basically wall-to-wall stars until about 2 a.m. when the moon was rising.
Yeah.
But with this particular shot, this was after night 2, literally right in the middle. And I've actually pinpointed it. It's not very far at all from, I'm almost straddling South Australia and the Northern Territory here when I take this photo. So it's very, very close to the border. Not far from, we'd been to Popple's Corner that day, which is where the Northern Territory, Queensland and South Australia meet.
Oh, yes, I can see that on the map.
Yeah. And so for those of you who have been out there and want to know, we followed the French line for the first couple of days, and that joins up with what's called the QAA line. The QAA line takes you into Birdsville. So, that was pretty cool. But the thing I loved about this photo in particular was the fact that we'd got a campfire going, we'd had steaks on the fire. We'd sat around for an hour telling each other how good we are. And then
only an hour.
Yeah, that's right. It only took an hour. And talking and just talked about the adventure that we were on. And feeling that sense of isolation. So in the 4 days that we crossed the desert, we saw 12 other cars, which kind of surprised us. We thought it'd be a bit busier, but because the desert had only just been reopened, we figured that a lot of people had made other plans. And we were lucky enough to be able to still go. But for this shot in particular, I wandered away from camp, and I was only maybe 200-300 meters away from camp. I could just see the flickering of the fire behind me. And geez, it was eerie because it was so quiet. Like absolute, like the silence was deafening.
Yes.
But you could just see the line of the galactic core, I guess they call it. And I was just like, well, I know where to point my camera. This is easy. It's just a matter of finding foreground. And as it turned out, I'm going to say that the red on the horizon there is just left over from the sunset. I just don't think it was late enough, even though it was, this would have been a good 2 hours after sunset. I still think that's remnants of sunset.
Yeah, possibly.
And part of me sort of doesn't regret it, but I probably should have set an alarm for like 2 a.m. But then I would have been battling a moon, I guess. But I didn't do that. But in the mornings though, it was pretty much like this anyway. And then we got these beautiful calm mornings, not a breath of wind. Like it was pretty cool. But the thing about the Simpson Desert is it's classified as what they call a Bortle Class 1 sky. So it's the darkest sky you can get on the planet. There's only a handful of places on Earth where this happens. Here in like Central Australia, Central Western Australia as well. There's a couple of places in Africa. a couple of places in South America, and I think Antarctica. Are classified.
You mean there's no light pollution down in Antarctica? Not yet, anyway.
Well, that's right. It's only a matter of time, right? So,
yeah.
So, as I say, that was probably the, definitely one of the highlights was getting to shoot the Simpsons. So, this is on my Nikon Z5 Mark II. This is Tamron 16-30 f2.8. It's shot at f2.8. It's shot at 1600 ISO, and it's a 30-second exposure.
Right. Perfect.
Yeah. So it was cool. It was the being able to not just sort of immerse yourself in the desert like that, but also getting to photograph it. And again, I'll reiterate, this was not a photographic trip. I didn't go there for that. I was on holidays. I had my gear with me. And what I would do each day is do the photos from the day, download them onto my phone, and then share them with the group, around the fire. And this is we called it Brendan's daily dump of photos. And,
I seem to remember another trip on there when I've been on where there was a Brendan's daily dump, which is also shared to a group. I don't know about that one. Was that the same type of group?
Yeah, maybe not actually. No, we won't go there. So I'm just battling here to add another couple of photos because I've reached my limit on the photo thing. But
Speaking of that, I actually saw 5 Star Dan the other day, and he re-raised that photo group as well. Funny enough.
Good old 5 Star. How's he traveling?
He's good. 5 Star Dan met 5 Star Cheryl the other day. That was a weird meeting.
Well, that's like a crossover of universes for you. So
it was. Well, and Cheryl bought Dan a 6-pack or a 4-pack of Bright Brewery hard solo type of stuff. And really? Daniel was like, what's this for? She's like, this is for not wanting your job back. Thanks very much. So it was very fun. It was a very, very weird moment. But anyway, back to the Simpson.
Yeah. So this is so these are the vehicles we traveled in, and that gives you a good indication of the countryside that we traveled across. What I wasn't prepared for was salt pans.
Okay.
So I intentionally didn't look at YouTube videos of people crossing the Simpson or photos from out there. I wanted to experience it the first time for myself. So when I saw these massive big salt pans, I was like, how awesome is this? And on our way up, we actually stopped at Lake Tyrrell at Sea Lake just for 10 minutes just to show the boys Lake Tyrrell. And it was sort of like a taster of what was to come, because some of these lakes put Tyrrell to shame. Like, they're just massive. And you can see there the ruts in the road, and like how it had only just dried out like maybe a week or so before we got there. So we're pretty lucky like that.
And did you take a drone with you?
I did take a drone with me, but being a responsible drone user, I did not fly it in the national park. It got to run back over towards Birdsville, but that's another story. I'll tell you about that a bit later on. But it was I just wanted to show you. Yeah, this really, hopefully it loads up. So just going back to what the terrain was like. So that's basically us for 4 days. Climbing over dunes and dropping down, and climbing the next dune and dropping down, which sounds boring. It's anything but. It's actually really exciting. No two sort of valleys between the dunes are the same. Like, some of them have got full-blown trees growing in them. Some have got the salt pans. You don't know how challenging each dune's going to be. Like, I think from memory, there was something like 900 dunes to cross over the 600 Ks. It's a lot. And as I say, you sort of approached each one with a sense of sort of trepidation. So you'll notice as well, we had to use sand flags. So that's what you can see on the cars there. So when you're climbing a dune, that if a car's coming the other way, they see the flag before they see the car and they stop. That was the hope. But we also had UHF, and what you do as a good Samaritan on when you're climbing dunes is you radio, and you say 2 vehicles traveling on the QAA line heading for Birdsville. And for the few vehicles that we did see, they all were great. They all replied back and, we've made visual contact. We'll see, we'll wait here, and all that sort of stuff. Because when you come up to dunes like these ones, a lot of it is single track, as you can see. So there's very few places where you can just pull off, even though it's carpeted in green at the moment. When it was, when it's just sandy, like, you just get bogged. So you had to be really careful and be sort of choosy with where you pulled off as well. So
and you had no mechanical issues or car issues along the way. Everything went well.
Oh, we were very, very lucky. We didn't have any punctures. We didn't have any no mechanical issues whatsoever. I'm just trying to rack my brain. I don't think anything went wrong at all as far as the cars were concerned. So that was pretty smooth sailing. And as I say, I'm so grateful that I had a couple of guys who had pretty nice cars that just wanted to go out and use them, and were happy to invite me along. So one of the nights, again, I think might have even been night one, I just wandered off, as I like to do. We got the fire going, and we actually did a camp oven. It was amazing. We did a lamb shoulder in the camp oven with all the veggies and everything like that. So while that's cooking and I'm looking at the sunset, I'm like, guys, I think this sunset's going to kick off. I'm going to go for a walk. So I just went over and climbed the nearest dune, basically. And it was great because I could hear the guys talking around the campfire behind me, and then just looking out over this sort of arid plain of dead silence. And mate, the sand dunes glow. It's berserk. They glow. Yeah. It's like when we shoot the 12 Apostles, or when we went to Utah and you see the rocks light up. Well, the sand does the same thing. So it was so cool to be able to see that. But again, hindered by that vegetation. It was it was one of those things. The sunset was a cracker, but it would have been awesome if it was just red sand. But hey, that is
red sand and ripples, because there's almost rippling in the sky in that one, isn't it? It's got this sort of
exactly. And that and that's what it was doing. It was sort of giving me that. It was mirroring what the sand was doing, but I just couldn't find. This was the best patch of sand I could find.
In the desert.
In the desert, exactly. Which sounds bloody weird, but that just speaks to how much rain they've had out there. So the next morning as well, basically from the same spot, but one dune over, if I can bring it up, was looking like that. So. And again, look at the sand. It was just glowing. Yeah. It was awesome. And mind you, it was only about 2 degrees when I took that photo. It was quite cool out in the desert. So
and you had how did you charge your batteries while you're over? Did you have did they have like an inverter type of thing on board that you could charge?
Both cars were loaded with battery power and inverters and all that sort of stuff. USB-C charging, which the Nikon has. So I was just charging on board. I never once had battery anxiety at all. I carried 4 batteries with me, so 1 in the camera and 3 spares. But I never worried about running out of battery. What I will say though is if anyone is thinking about going out there, for the love of God, take a dust blower with you. It was man, dust gets into everything. I don't care.
When I did Cape York a few years ago, I had the red desert sand or the red dirt still in the rubber seals of my car when I sold it. You just couldn't get rid of it. But you take some of that red dirt home with you, and it's pretty cool. And did you have Starlink as well? Did someone have Starlink?
Yeah, so Marcus, who was with us, had Starlink as well. Now, Starlink is a game changer, mainly for safety. We had probably better internet than I'm talking on with you right now. In the middle of the desert, which was, again, it was cool to have it, and I get it. I felt a little bit too connected at times though, so I switched it off from my phone. Marcus was happy for us all to connect to it, but and we'd connect around the fire when I did my daily photo dump, so everyone could see the photos, and then I'd just flick it off. I just didn't want to be connected. I get it though, and as I say, for security, we also had EPIRBs with us as well, but just in case we couldn't get Starlink. But Starlink out there's no trees to block your line, and we were watching Elon's satellites go over us every night.
That's right. It's amazing how you can be in the middle of nowhere now and still be connected, which, like you said, I'd be a bit similar to you. I'd be tempted to stay connected, but on the other hand, you sort of want not to be connected. But it's a fine line between that and again, like for safety, you definitely need to have them. But it's very cool. So this
was another bit of a look at the salt pans that you go across out there.
And you would have had low tire pressures and all that kind of stuff. Drop the tire.
Yeah. So basically, from Dalhousie Springs, we lowered our tires. I think 18, 20 psi, so pretty low.
Just
to get grip and also to maintain the quality of the track as well. It's really important. You could tell where people hadn't let the pressure down to their tires enough because they create what's called a wombat hole, where basically the car will dig in and it just tears the track apart. Which out on the actual track itself is a pain in the ass, but when you get to the last dune, if you're crossing west to east, you get to the last dune, it's called Big Red. And Big Red is basically a challenge for four-wheel drive owners to try and drive their car up Big Red. It was very, very cool. We got to the top of Big Red and I got out and just videoed those guys bringing their cars up, and they were having a ball. And I'm putting a video together for them at the moment. I'm sure they're going to be grateful, to have that footage. So that was pretty cool. And actually this image here I shot, this was right at the top of Big Red. And this is where it was actually quite funny because both drivers were very experienced sand drivers, but Big Red caught one of them out. Like they got where they thought they were at the top, but they weren't quite, and sort of stopped power, but all of a sudden the car just bogged down and the car got stuck there. So while the wheels are spinning, I'm like, keep doing that. I'm getting some cool photos.
Very nice. And I saw they had mud tracks or track things on their roof there. Is that how they got out of that? They put some tracks on there and
so those things that you can see on that orange thing, tracks. So they're essential. That's like carrying chains in the snow. You carry them to get yourself out of trouble. No, in that case, we actually used the other four-wheel drive and just used a snatch strap just to pop him straight out. So that was a bit of fun, really. It was it was sort of added, as I was saying to the boys, this is great. This adds to the adventure. Part of me kind of wanted us to get into a bit more trouble than we did, just for the just because it's a laugh, so
shits and giggles.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But it was, I'm just going to load up a couple more photos while we're talking, but it was, as much of an adventure it was, not once did I feel unsafe or anything like that. It was kind of cool. Sorry, I'm having trouble uploading some more photos here.
After you got to Birdsville,
yes,
where did you head from there?
Well, before you get to Birdsville, so before you get to Big Red, you actually have to cross the Air Creek. And the Air Creek was flowing, like there was plenty of water in Air Creek. And there's only one spot really that you can cross it. So we had to find our way. So it was what called the Air Creek bypass. We had to go up and around, and it was a bit of a kerfuddle at one point. We weren't sure if we were in the right spot, but we turned out we were. And they basically put sort of these stakes across the river. It's a stony crossing. And it would have covered the height of the wheels on the cars when we were there. So it was, I wouldn't say treacherous, but it was certainly a rough ride across the creek. We did that, which was great. Gave the cars a bit of a wash and then got them all dirty again when we went up Big Red. And then, into Birdsville. And Birdsville is one of those places that I've heard a lot about. And to me, and I hate using this phrase, but to me, it feels like real Australia. It's proper outback, dry, arid, the middle of nowhere. It was brilliant. We had a couple of days there just to sort of decompress from the trip and hang out in the pub and walk around the town. Got talking to a couple of locals there, and it was fascinating that the people that own the pub also run the Birdsville Bakery. There's plenty of people coming and going in four-wheel drives. There's people flying in and out. The great thing about the Birdsville pub is it's over the road from the airstrip. So you can sit under the veranda of the pub and watch planes come and go, which was pretty cool to be able to do that.
Looks like it's over the road from the cricket ground as well.
Yeah, so that oval that you're seeing on the map there, that's they set that up for the Birdsville races, which is in a couple of weeks' time. And that becomes a tent city there, and they ferry people out to the race course. Being able to spend a couple of days in such an iconic Australian town was pretty cool. So,
and did you by any chance go check out the Burke and Wills tree?
No, we sort of left that one off.
Today.
That's true. Yeah, we read all about it, and we didn't actually realize it was that close to town. Like,
yeah,
we could have almost walked there, and we didn't know that. We thought it was actually quite a few Ks out of town. And then, of course, we sort of had to leave. We're on a bit of a schedule, and we saw the turn off, went, righto, we'll have to keep that one for next time. So,
which is pretty stupid when you think about it. It's pretty stupid that they got lost when there was a major town like a couple hundred meters away.
I know, come on.
Dickheads. Come on. Absolute bloody dickheads.
Yeah. Yeah. But being able to, as I say, spend some time out there was pretty cool. But then it so that's where Marcus left us, and he headed back for Noosa.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. So we basically then had 3 days to get back to Ocean Grove.
Yes.
So that was pretty cool in itself. Being able to, I just sat in the backseat of the car and watched, Queensland and New South Wales. We drove right across New South Wales. Just being able to watch the change in landscape and just enjoy it. It was actually one of the coolest parts of the trip was the drive back. Staying, eating at pubs and staying at, crappy motels and stuff like that. It was actually pretty cool. A lot of characters out there, man. Like and road trains and
one thing that disappear. That's where you go.
Yeah, sorry. I know this is a photography show, but it was sort of turned into a travel show. But it was one thing that blew my mind was when we're coming through New South Wales. Guess which animal we saw the most of?
Camel.
No, never saw one camel the whole time. I did have a camel pie at Birdsville, but never saw one.
In New South Wales, what did you see the most of?
Some people be yelling. Goats.
Oh, goats. Wild
Can you
goats.
believe it? Yeah.
You're kidding me.
There was millions of the bloody things. So apparently goats are farmed through there, and of course a lot of them go wild. And you've got to be kind of careful. They're like kangaroos. They like to just wander across the road in front of you and all that sort of stuff. So millions of goats. So how about that?
So for Birdsville, did you go through my corner? Did you go Cameron's Corner?
So when we were heading back, our original plan was to go through Thargomindah, Cameron's Corner, Broken Hill. Roads were closed. Couldn't do it. Too much water through there. So we ended up going, we went as far east. I think we went to a town called Quilpie. And then we started to head south from there. Look, I can't remember the names of the towns. Cunnamulla. So we stayed one night in Cunnamulla, and then we basically drove from Cunnamulla to Hay, which is southern New South Wales. So Hay's on the Murrumbidgee. So we did that in basically a day, and then it was from Hay back to Ocean Grove. So again, that part of the trip was just transit. That was just to get us back in the Simpson. But it was cool. It was cool to see. And it was, as I say, places like Cobar and Burke and towns you've heard 100 times, but never seen. And got to see them. So it was very, very cool. And look, to be honest, mate, the photos I've just put up is scratching the surface. I've got 300 images that I'm really happy with.
Beautiful.
Maybe even more. And you know me, I haven't been through all of them yet, but I'll get there.
No, doesn't sound like
it could be a whole other podcast for the whole trip. And as I say, I'm putting a video together at the moment as well. So I shot lots of photos, took loads of videos because I didn't have to drive a car. All I had to do was sit there and enjoy it and make images. And basically when we get to camp, sort of help out with a bit of cooking and light a fire. And I was really looked after. It was very, very nice of them.
It sounds like you were treated like a princess a little bit. It was great.
I'll wear that. That's totally fair. And I mean, look, I had to set up my own swag and stuff like that, which I loved. I mean, I don't know.
I love swagging. Swagging is unreal. I love swagging.
And it only takes the first couple of nights, and then you're kind of into it. I miss it already. I'd want to set it up in the backyard and just sleep in the thing. It's so comfortable.
I did in COVID. I slept 2 weeks out in the back lawn in a swag in COVID. Hey, next time your mates are organising that, can I come along? I'd love to go.
Sure. No worries. Sure, mate. The more the merrier. Funny you should say that because my mate over in Perth has teed up a trip for me to do May or June next year. We haven't exactly landed on a date yet, but that's the one we're going to do Karajini. So we're going to drive from Perth up and do a loop. So if you're keen to bring your car across to Perth, mate, just
it's funny you say that because on our Flinders Rangers trip we did a few weeks ago, there was a gentleman who lives. Shout out to Mike, who's a doctor out there. He's one of the fly-in, fly-out doctors out that way. And he said, you've got to go to Carragini. I'm like, yeah, definitely want to go to Carragini, and definitely keen to check that place out. But what I have booked, I don't think I've told you, though, either, that we have Kakadu at the start of December this year, which we go and do 5 days in Kakadu. I've decided to fly from Darwin to Kununurra and drive across the Broome and check out, not the Gibb River Road, but check out that highway across there, the Bungle Bungles and Fitzroy Crossing, and a few other things, scouting it out for a possible trip. So we're not sure if we're going to get through all the way because it's sort of the start of the wet season, but we're going to give it a crack and see how we go. But yeah, let me know about Carragini. I'd be very very keen to maybe come along and check that out if you need a tag along.
Yeah, I think what happened, doing this trip, it just whet the appetite. Is what it just makes you want to go. I mean, we've got our little chat, and we just keep saying every second day, let's go back to William Creek Pub, let's go back to Birdsville, let's go back to And it was funny because when we're at William Creek, there would have been maybe 100 people staying. Not even that. There would have been 75 people staying there. Yeah. And we walk into the pub, and the boys knew a guy that was in there who's quite a famous Australian dirt bike rider.
Right. Yeah.
And he was riding his bike with his partner up the Unadata track and heading to Fink and then heading out to Alice Spring. Yeah. Yeah. Which was remarkable.
This is a massive country where you cannot hide from anyone.
It's weird.
You are going to find someone who knows someone when you're in the middle of arse nowhere. And you'll find someone that knows someone. It's stupid how it happens. So
yeah, it is weird, isn't it?
Yeah, keep like I said, if you're doing other trips, I'd love to, if I'm invited, of course, not inviting myself, but if you needed another car to come along or tag along and I'm available, I'd love to go and do some adventures out there with you. So
yeah, I think that'd be awesome, and being able to get out to these places with other photographers would be pretty cool. And look, and of course, where you're out there, it's like, oh geez, how cool would it be to run a photo tour out here? It would be very, very difficult.
The only way you could do that would be if you run like the tag along tours, where people have their own self-sufficient four-wheel drive, and that's a really big caveat. But if you get stuck there, you're on your own. We're not fixing your car.
Yeah. Well, this is what the Unadata track looks like, folks. At the moment. Well, when I say at the moment, again, we were very, very lucky because
you had weather up your ass. I was messaging you and going, I hope you're out of that Simpson Desert, because there was a bit of weather chasing you across that desert.
Well, the whole Unadata track had basically been graded. Like it was borderline a highway. So we got quite lucky. But this is indicative of what you see basically when you get north of probably north of William Creek, really. From William Creek up to Mount Dare, this is what the road looks like. So yeah, it was pretty cool. Pretty cool. Anyway, as I say, it sort of turned into a bit of this is Brendan's slideshow of his holiday, but
that's why we only do these once a month.
That's right. If you get the chance, folks, to get out to the Simpson Desert, don't miss it. Now, we went across one way. There's multiple tracks. There's the Madigan line, there's the Hay River line, there's the Rig Road, there's the K1 line. There's different lines across, all of them in varying degrees of condition. Some are tougher than others. The one we chose, I think, was the perfect introduction for four-wheel driving in the Simpson Desert. It is regarded as one of the easier crossings to do. So, of course, that just made us want to do harder ones. So,
with harder one comes harder times. It's not the place you want to get stuck or have a major issue. So,
no, that's right. I mean, and I have since read some horror stories of cars completely breaking in half, crossing parts of the Simpson there, and people getting stranded, which is not great. But what do they say? Prior preparation prevents piss poor performance. You just got to be prepared. You just got to, carry your water and carry food for extra days and that sort of stuff. And have insurance. I mean, when you're crossing the Simpson, you can buy insurance when you're at Mount Dare. It's $500, and they will come from either Mount Dare or Birdsville and rescue you, bring your car out if you get stuck. Which is interesting because I since watched this YouTuber who did it in a Mitsubishi Triton, and basically the front wheel snapped off the thing.
So that's going to happen with a Triton.
Yep. And he was a day out of Birdsville, a full day out of Birdsville. Yeah. And they charged him $11,500 to recover his car.
Ouch. So. Yeah, maybe just chip in around the car and just get $100 from everyone and just get that insurance.
Get that insurance, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
that's about 2 liters of petrol, so it's not, it's pretty comparable.
Yeah. So, folks, if you've got any questions about my trip out there, hit me up in the comments below. Happy to answer any questions. I will be sharing a lot more photos through my social media and through my website eventually once I get around to getting them all loaded up. But yeah, if you've got any questions about photographing out in those parts of the world, let me know. Happy to answer some questions. I'm so experienced now. I've done it once.
Brilliant. You've got me inspired to go out there now.
Yeah. It's amazing. It's brilliant countryside. And speaking with Adam Edwards as well, of course, as Wet My Appetite is at Broken Hill.
Yes.
And I've got to get out there.
I must get to Broken Hill one day. It looks pretty good.
Yeah, it's brilliant. And the great thing about it is, Cam, it's completely different to what you and I shoot on the daily. You being coastal, you being in Tassie, and it's just another part of Australia that's in my opinion incredibly underrated for photography. And that just speaks to its remoteness and how hard it is to get there. And I guess the harder to get there, the more special it is, I guess.
Yeah, and the least people have been there.
Yes, exactly.
Great. Yeah.
Moving right along, should we announce our comp winner, or we got something?
Yeah, I think we should probably do the comp winner, and then we might do the BFOP party. We won't worry about the second thing on the list. That's not a problem.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah. Let's rearrange your show on the fly.
Over the last couple of podcasts, we have been talking about our Paint Your Town Winter competition, which you could find on our Facebook page. We had many, many entries on the Facebook page. It was fantastic to see so many people putting in their winter photos. And this one was pretty easy for us to judge, wasn't it? For some reason, we both landed on the same image this time.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think this is the best comp we've had entry-wise. There was a hell of a lot of high-quality photography, a lot of high-quality photography. But for some reason, you and I, without even really talking, both came back to this one image and went, "Oh, that's a good one. Let's see what else comes in." It was a winner pretty early on, and it just held its ground. So, amazing shot, which I'm sure you'll announce that in a second. But once again, thanks to everyone that entered. We will do another competition in the next month, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, we will. Maybe next podcast.
The next show we'll put up a competition, but I'll pass it over to you to do the formalities.
So we're going to put up on the screen now the winning image. It's this image right here.
Yeah,
cool is
beautiful.
How cool is that?
Very cool. Love the lighting. Love the little bit of frost. It technically could be an autumn shot, but it's not because the leaves are on the ground, so that it's winter. But I just drew my eye straight away this one, and just the detail in it, the colors, it looks cold, it looks cool. So well done.
So it's a big congratulations to Laura Munsey. Well done, Laura.
Now, if we were a proper podcast, we'd have all these sound effects, but they sound a bit poxy, so we won't do that.
I can probably find them somewhere on this thing. Hang on.
No, please don't start stuffing around with this thing while we're recording.
Let's see if this works.
What the hell was that?
That was a round of applause.
Have we had that available the whole time we've been doing this show on this bloody program?
Yeah, we have.
Yeah.
It's how professional we are here at the Down South Photo Show. Laura, well done. Great photo.
Well done, Laura.
I'd like to reiterate what Cam said. The color palette is probably what dragged my eye into it. The fact that it's stark, but it's a close-up and it's macro and it's got detail, and the veins in the leaves is really cool. And the composition, look, we're going to just assume that that's where they fell and that's how it looked. So well done, Laura. Awesome shot.
Yeah. What does Laura win? Because I can't remember.
I can't remember either. Go back and watch the last podcast to find out.
Laura,
I think it was your dig.
It might be my dig. Just message us and tell us what you want, and we'll get it organised for you. But if it's my dig, then I think I was going to send out a book and a hat.
Yes,
I think it was a book and a hat. So Laura will reach out to you. We know Laura; she's been on a few trips before, and we'll get that sorted out. So I'll just put in there book and hat.
Yes.
All right. Amazing. But well done to everyone who entered. Like I said, there was some. We could have probably picked a dozen winners out of that group of shots. So if you haven't seen them already, go back to our Facebook page and check it out. That's the pinned post. That's there. And just go. Give your eyes a feast of winter glory as you go through, because there's some really, really nice shots in there. So well done to everyone.
That is exactly right. So you can jump over to our Facebook page, just search, if you're on Facebook, search the Down South Photo Show, follow us along there. We put a lot of fun stuff up there, including photos from our trips and stuff like that. But if you also head to dsps.com.au, you can see a lot of info there, not least of which is about our workshops. Next year, we are going back to Kangaroo Island. We're going to be doing the Great Ocean Road again as well next year as well. So jump on to dsps.com.au, as it says on that banner that's going up there.
Look at us. We've got banners and sound effects in one episode.
I know, what? That's pretty crazy.
What the F is going on?
We've had banners for ages, mate. Come on.
Have you been studying? This is what you did the whole 5,000 kilometers, just sat there reading about how to use StreamYard and sound effects?
That's right, because we had Starlink, so I was able to do that. Also, you can head over to dsps.com.au and you can buy us a beer if you want to. You don't have to, but we do like it when people buy us a beer. And
preferably, yeah.
It helps to support the show, helps us to put this little thing out occasionally when we do.
Maybe the beer donations have dropped off because the shows have dropped off.
Well, this is exactly right.
How are we going to play golf next year if we don't keep getting beer donations, Brendan?
Yeah, I know. Sorry, I've got to work on that. I've definitely got to lift my game. Now, speaking of the Down South Photo Show, we have the Bright Festival of Photography is back and coming up in October. It's always the second weekend in October. And Cam and I will be back there as instructors running workshops over the 3 days. But on the Thursday night, so BFOP kicks off on the Friday. On the Thursday night, if you are going to BFOP, you can join us for dinner at the Alpine Hotel in Bright on Thursday night. I wish I knew what date that was, but it's the Thursday before BFOP. So
it's in the notes.
Thank you, mate. Very good.
Do you want me to take over?
Yes,
Thursday, the 8th of October, from 6 p.m. onwards at the Alpine Hotel, which is the one near the clock tower. For those coming to BFOP who are return BFOPers, that's the one with the clock tower. If you're new to Bright, it's the one near the clock tower. Great thanks to our number one supporter, Mel Haddon, who kindly has offered his time and efforts to put this on again. Last year we had 94 people rock up. Brendan arrived a bit late because he's on the big bus trip. I was in Scotland, but this year I'm really excited. I'm going to be there from 6 and I'll be drinking from 6 because I am staying at the Alpine Hotel. So I don't have very far to walk at all. So what you need to do though, if you're sitting there going, shit, that sounds like a great idea. Let's get on the piss with the boys at the Alpine Hotel on the night of the BFOP festival. You can't just rock up. You need to let Mel Haddon know, and Brendan's got his finger on the button ready to put up there. Look at it. If you email Mel at that email address or send him a text message, try not to maybe call him. We don't want people calling him at 3 o'clock in the morning. So make sure you don't do that. Make sure you give him a message and say when you're going to be there, how many people, etc. But as Brendan was talking about, make sure you subscribe and follow us on Facebook and stuff like that. We might have a few little prizes and giveaways and things like that arriving at this little Thursday night dinner before BFOP. But to go into the winning of that, you must be subscribed to the channel and you must write your little name down when you walk in the door. I'm just taking over this whole thing, Brendan. So
that's fine.
And we'll be giving out some pretty cool prizes, but you have to be subscribed. So in other words, we're just holding you to ransom to subscribe to the channel. If you want to win a prize, you can unsubscribe afterwards. We don't care. But if you want to win a prize, you've got to subscribe. So Thursday, 8th of October from 6 p.m. onwards at the Alpine Hotel. Mel's details are there. Take a screenshot of that. Take a photo on your phone. Send him a message. Let him know you're coming. There is already 60 people coming to this. And we just put that on our website, on our Facebook page the other day. So it'll be a great night. It's a great way to kick off BFOP. And then, we look forward to seeing you all there. Can't wait to catch up with Mel. Can't wait to catch up with you in the flesh and everyone else that comes along.
Yep, absolutely. So there's Mel's details. We'll also put a link to that in the comments below as well. So yeah, look forward to seeing it. As Cam said, my efforts at BFOP involve going on the big bus trip, and we actually do that on the Thursday, Friday, and the Saturday this year. So I won't be back in Brighton until about 9 o'clock. So I expect you all to be very raucous by then and having a great time. I also expect a great big beer sitting there for me when I walk through the doors as well, if you don't mind, Mr. Blake.
Yes. I don't know what I'm doing at BFOP. Well, I know what I'm trying to do at BFOP this year, but I don't know what time I'm doing stuff at BFOP. The last time I went out on the bender at BFOP, we pretty much got a blanket ban of drinking at BFOP for the next 9 years. So we'll see what happens. If I'm not doing a sunrise the next morning, hell have no fury, like that bar at Alpine Hotel. I might let loose. Anyway, but there'll be a beer waiting for you, mate, when you get back down, because you'll be knackered. So you can walk in and have one beer and just fall asleep.
Actually, it wasn't too bad last year. I sort of got there. There was still a good 40 or 50 people there, which was great. And a lot of familiar faces, which was excellent. And then there was a few hardcore fans that sort of sat at the bar with me for a couple of drinks, which was lovely. So okay. I greatly, it's one of the highlights of the weekend at Bright, getting to see people who tune into this malarkey whenever we put it out.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's malarkey. So yeah, that should be good. Thursday the 8th of October. So thanks again to Mel. You're a legend. So thank you.
Good on you, Mel. Now, should we round this out by, you did put a couple of extra photos on the timeline. I'm going to put them up. Just one.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah,
Let's
sure.
go with this one. There we go.
Yeah, so like I said, I did the high country, a little bit of a scouting exercise, hoping for a bit more snow, but we didn't have a huge season up there. But these are a couple of little shots. This one's from Mount Hotham. I just like the lines and the tree and that little one catching the light, which is pretty cool. It's a pretty common sort of shot, having that line of trees getting a bit of light, but it's always nice to practice your craft while you're up there. But as you can see, there wasn't a heap of snow on that side of the mountain, so it would have been nice to have a bit more snow coverage. And the other image that I was going to share is just one from Cradle Mountain the other day when we had no snow at all, but we also got some incredible, beautiful forest conditions. So this is in the King Billy Forest Walk. This tree I've done this tree a couple of times, but it just grabs my attention every time with all the roots and the tree trunks going up there. And it's a huge tree. It actually bends up and right into the canopy, which is very cool. So if you want to do forests, Tasmania's got them in spades, and they're very good old growth forests. So all those photos taken on, I think they were all taken on the Leica SL3 with a 16-35 on this one. Probably shot maybe around about sort of 18 mil, 20 mil. And then the other one was with the long lens, the 70-200. So different ends of the focal spectrum, but different photos altogether. So yeah, it's nice to get in those forests.
I like it. And if I may indulge, this was I did manage to get. So this is Birdsville. This is the Birdsville pub on the left there. Iconic pub. A lot of people would have seen photos of it before. This was sunrise. The next morning after we'd been in Birdsville, I must admit it was a little bit dusty when I took this photo, but I got up for the sunrise anyway. It's shot on my iPhone, of course. I did have my other camera there, but for some reason I just only took a handful of shots with that and had a bit more fun with the phone.
Yeah.
What you can't see there is just how windy it is. It was blowing an absolute gale. Now, this is, and I didn't get to finish my story before. I booked in to do a flight. And
that's right. You did.
Yes. And I went over to talk to them, and they went, today? No, I don't think so. So that was that. That put the end to any flying that I got to do in the outback. But hey, these things happen. And I do actually have a good friend of mine who's a pilot out of Barwon Heads, and we have already talked. He's flying to the Birdsville races in a couple of weeks, and we have already spoken about maybe doing a Broken Hill to Birdsville flight sometime early next year. So I'll keep you posted on that one as well, Cam.
Yeah. Well, the Red Sky in the morning.
I'm sure you wouldn't mind coming on that one.
Well, look, if you got room, I'm happy to move things around. Red Sky in the morning, Shepherd's Warning. I reckon that's maybe the start of that shitty weather that was coming through. That's the William Creek pub, isn't it?
That is Willie Creek, and it was bloody awesome. So this was actually the next morning. while the bar was empty, and all the hats and somewhere buried in there is a Down South Photo Show stubby holder as well.
Excellent. So there's a sticker in near the Navajo Bridge in Arizona of the Down South Photo Show. Now there's a stubby holder in the William Creek pub. All right,
we are global, my friend.
Yes, very good. That's an amazing trip you've had. I'm really happy.
Yeah, it was very, very cool. Now, Cam, what have you got coming up?
Not much. I got another week or so off before I go to the Flinders Island on an AusGeo workshop, and then after that, got another week off or so before I do Bruny Island, and then it's BFOP. So September's pretty gappy for me. It's got a little 4-day one and then a little 3-day one. So nice, plenty of time at home. Jamison's birthday is coming up as well. He's turning 11 on the start of September, so we'll be around for that. I've got to manage apparently 6 or 7 11-year-old boys for a sleepover, so that's going to be much fun. I think my office is going to turn into a jungle gym, so we'll see how that goes. And I'll be sitting back hopefully watching my football team win at least one final. Would be nice.
Yes. How about you? Hopefully we'll be doing the same. My football team will be playing on the weekend, so I'll probably be doing a bit of that as well. But yeah, back into the shop. You've had a good time away when it's just really hard work going back to work, right? So so that's where I'm at the moment, but that's okay. We'll work through it. Looking forward to spring. Looking forward to longer days and being able to lock the doors to the shop at 5 o'clock and go and shoot a sunset. So there'll be a bit more back behind the camera sort of stuff. So sort of, believe it or not, the downhill run to, I'm not even going to say the word, but it's coming.
Don't say it. Hey, you know what I'm thinking of doing on Thursday?
Go on.
I'm thinking of ruining a good walk.
Ooh. Okay. Well,
yeah, it's been a while. I might blow some cobwebs out.
Yes. Well, I need to.
Because there is a classic. Yes. Yeah. Which I should probably
book to that, by the way.
I haven't booked flights yet, but I'm coming. I've just got to get my shit organised. Yeah, I'll be there.
That's right.
Unless I book a flight for the next year afterwards, like I did the other year when I stuffed it completely up. But
don't do that. I do have my golf day coming up in a couple of weeks' time as well, which I'm very much looking forward to. Not least of which just to catch up with everyone. That's why I do it, is to get all my mates together, and we generally have a good time. So
yes, it'll be fun. I need to really look at that. I need to get that organised.
Yes,
pretty quickly.
It's Sunday, the 13th of September.
Yes, I've got that. I get back from the Flinders Island on the Friday.
Oh, well, just keep going.
Well, then I go back to Hobart, and then I'll fly it on the Saturday. You could
probably even do it in the same day. You could probably fly from Hobart to Melbourne, come and play golf, and fly home again.
What time is the golf day starting?
9 o'clock.
I'd have to get the first.
No one lives this far, so we can do all our personal stuff.
Yeah. That's right. So I'd have to I can get the first flight out of Hobart. That gets me there about 7 o'clock. Maybe. I'll have a look. But I'm coming. Just got to get my shit in order.
It'd be great.
Hey, you know what I did today? I went and booked 8 tickets on a flight today. I won't tell you where I'm going or where I'm going from, but it's a bit of a mystery. So I actually went and booked 8 seats on a plane. I've never done that before. So
cool.
Here I was thinking I get all the frequent flyer points, but you only get the frequent flyer points to your name, nothing else.
What a rip off!
It is a chip.
I hate it.
Assholes. Yes.
All right. Congratulations to Max Gorn, 9-time All-Australian. That is it. That is the podcast. This has been episode 195 of the Down South Photo Show. We'll see you for episode 196 in the near future. All said and done, Mr. Blake.
Oh, what about if we did like episode 200 at BFOP?
We need to do an episode from BFOP like we did a couple of years ago. That was popular.
Make it 200.
We could. We'll see if we can squeeze it. Well, we should be able to.
We can just say it's episode 200. No one listens or watches.
Yeah. We'll just hijack the whole damn thing.
Yeah. Welcome to episode 365,000. All right.
Thanks for joining the show. Say goodbye, Cameron.
Goodbye, Cameron.
Okay. See everyone. Cheers.
Ciao.